in regard to, the first one is leadership and legal competence, key good kindergarten environment. And we have Atle and Morten from Norway University as well to do the two papers. Okay, so whenever you're ready, I will indicate your time on the cards.
Yes. Thank you, sir. A bit closer. Okay. Yeah, here we go. This study is called Leadership and Legal Competence, the key to a good kindergarten environment. And it is a qualitative study on how the preschool manager legal competence affects the work environment in kindergartens. The background for this study. The owner of the kindergarten is legally responsible for following regulation, while the preschool manager handles employee duties and leads both teaching and administrative work, which requires legal competence. Good work environment strongly affects the quality of kindergarten's services. And the Working Environment Act in Norway covers both physical and social workplace conditions. And employers must ensure good working conditions. But this leadership has changed focus. More paperwork requires, paperwork requirements have changed manager focus from teaching leadership to administrative tasks, especially in bigger kindergartens. Our research questions and theoretical framework. How do preschool managers describe the significance of their legal competence for the work environment in the kindergarten? Our theoretical framework builds on theories of transformational leadership, distributed leadership, and psychological safety, and also Dewey's view on learning as a social process. There are some factors in the work environment, and this study examines the physical work environment, the psychosocial work environment, and also organizational conditions in according to the Working Environment Act. Methodology, as mentioned, this is a constructive tradition where knowledge is created through interactions between individuals in a given context. Semi-structured interviews were conducted with 4 preschool managers who has further education in law for leaders. This is an adaptive approach. This study combines deductive principles theory with an inductive approach to explore the participants' experiences. So we have used Alveson and Schönberg's adaptive model through these 6 steps or stages in analysis to interpret the leaders' experiences. As mentioned, we have 3 main focus for this study: the physical environment, the psychosocial environment, and also leadership in kindergartens. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Atle. Yes, that was a little bit about the background for our study and framing also the methodology that we use to investigate this. Physical work environment in the kindergartens is quite important, and we think also it is a lack of research there. So that is maybe also, I think, that made us want to study this. One thing is healthy and safety work. The working environment Act says that the workplace must be safe for everyone. That includes basically staff, employees, and this includes checking all factors that might affect staff health and well-being, so to speak. So we can, when we look at the woman on the side here, the kindergarten teacher, we see that she bends her back. With this influence on her health, doing that, bend his back, her back this much every day in like 30 years. Also lifting up these small children. How do we as leaders and keepers ensure that she can have a good health in such a static work that it might be? That is a leadership task, I think, for the kindergarten manager to secure that they can have a non-static activities during the days. Can have variety of tasks. For example, that is one short example, just to exemplify. And the next is body-friendly equipment. Kindergartens need furniture that fits staff bodies well. Good equipment helps prevent injuries, lifting and carrying children. And that is also related to how do we do this for the staff members. We have adapted and invested in a lot of equipment and tools for the children that are tiny and small, etc. All from the washroom to the nursing room, etc. They are equipped and adjusted into these purposes. But nevertheless, it is maybe more important to think at the same time how to secure this for the employees, for the staff. So when we know that there is lots of them not ill and have to leave the profession early after some years because they have health issues, psychological or physical, so to speak. So the next is safety measures. Safety rules are key in workplace guidelines. This means having non-slippery floors, for example, safe play areas, and clear emergency exits to prevent accidents, so to speak. That is one. Next. So, the psychosocial environment in kindergartens are shared into 4 important areas that we look into. The legal regulation is one thing. The Working Environment Act 4.3 sets requirements for the psychosocial work environment. Work environment must be free from discrimination and harassment. And as we know also in these environments where you have professional sides and professional beliefs and different professional educations, it may lead to that you see solutions in different ways. And also when it is inflicting your health, also lead to a discrimination of others. Maybe I think that the kindergarten assistants also should leave that, and yes, the kindergarten teacher have to leave that the lifting of the children, for example, or the nursing, or I might lead it to a colleague because I think you have such strong back, so you can handle it. So that is also very important that this is stated also in ethical and religious perspectives. So that is maybe actually a major lead task. Okay? And the next is psychological safety. Psychological safety within a team can function as a mechanism that translates the structural features into behavioral patterns and promotes inclusion among members. So the next leader task that is important also is conflict prevention, which we think is crucial also because that is a leader and a manager responsibility to see that we reduce the conflict levels and that we have an environment that encourages to reduce things and complex matters before it even turns to. And the next that will be fruitful for the psychosocial environment in kindergarten is collaboration, make good collaboration or collaborational environments. These are essential for preventing conflicts. And as a manager in kindergarten, they should promote collaboration, joint projects, meetings, and social activities where the professional capital of this work can work together and find solutions and find the ways that they best use their competence and skills for the best benefits of the children and the working environment. Yes, next. And we have based this on 3 leadership theories in kindergarten, which we can see in our investigation. And the one key is transformational leadership. By practicing transformational leadership, management ensures that employees are heard and included in decisions that shape the work life. we encourage them to take part and listen to their voice. And regular staff meetings in system, workplace surveys, and open discussions are effective ways to achieve this. That is one thing that and the transactional leadership as well is some similarities, but this is more like running the business, where you can see that it's about maintaining administrative orders, routines, creating structures, motivated through performance rewards, etc., and ensuring the daily tasks that they run smoothly, but not so very much into listening on the employees, and not so much about discussions and getting the voice. So there are some opposites there. Differences, no, opposites there. And the next is distributed leadership, which is in the other end, one of the things that we can see that when we go from the individual focus to the roles to leadership practices, where you can see that in organizations that are strongly democratic and can use collegial values to support shared decisions and visions also, and they can strengthen development and also drive through major changes in this way of thinking. So that's why we have put down these three things. And the informants that we interviewed, they described some main challenges, and these were easy in a way, but they were easy to express, but not easy to lead and see which kind of management do we need to have both these. But what they said is one is the physical and the psychological, and the next is the leadership. These are the three challenges that were mainly found in research. Physical challenges in kindergarten. Yes, the physical strain in kindergarten represents significant challenge for both employees and leaders. Daily operations involve heavy lifting, as I said earlier, and continuous static strain at a high level of activity. Because these smaller children, we know them have everlasting batteries. They're fully charged. They are on all the time. They don't relax, so to speak.
And also in a high level of activity, it's a bit noisy.
Yes.
So
intense noise.
Yeah.
And the next is into the physical is proactive strategies. We need innovative strategy to reduce these strain and are highlighted as an essential factor for improving physical environment. That was also legal competence. The informants described how their legal competence from the Work Act has increased through these studies. This makes them better equipped to handle difficult situations related to physical strain, sick leave, among others. Employees manage their prerogative and duty of loyalty. So that is important things that you can see. Psychological challenges in kindergarten leadership. Emotional pressure. Description from participants in the study suggests that the emotional pressure that employees face daily can also be demanded. They are also in a way intense among both the children, but also among the parents and all the environment that is influencing kindergarten. Findings from the study indicate that leadership in kindergarten involves significant psychological strain, particularly related to legal issues, personal matters, and organizational challenges. It could be both financial, it could be pedagogical, the equipment and tools. It could also be running development programs or change programs in the staff. So to know the legal frame for your action, for your leadership, is so important. And the middle managers dilemma. One of the most challenging aspects of the leadership role described is the handling of personal matters, especially for follow-up sick leave and conflict resolutions. When you are in the middle, you are not a boss, but you are almost a boss, and you are almost a teacher. So that is like some findings that is important. And you can imagine myself, I think. Yeah. So which leadership do we need for a good work environment? We need culture building. Which culture do we want to have? Challenges related to work environment are handled by trying to improve the psychosocial climate, various approaches, especially through experiences related to legal frameworks, conflict resolution, and efforts to build a common organizational culture. It seems so easy, but it is complex and difficult. Can really be a challenge. And the other thing is clear communication, leadership support, and clear communication can positively influence the work environment. One informant says that working with legal issues provides greater confidence in all leadership practice, which in turn enables clarity and openness within. And of course, if you don't know them, you will be vague when you communicate. But if you are familiar to them, you can clarify them and you can embrace them in quite a different way when you explain them to staff as a safety net, both for the children and for the kindergarten manager, but also for the employees, because it's the legal framework is positive according to the work environmental act. And the next is participation. The informants describe that when the staff are actively involved in processes and given the opportunity to participate as recommended by regulation, it helps them feel ownership and better understand changes in the organizations. And I think that is also, they are a little bit connected, the culture building, the clear communication, and the participation, so to speak. Yeah. So then we are over to the key findings.
Thank you, guys. Is it me? Thank you. Yeah.
5 minutes.
There are some main changes. Physical changes in kindergarten go beyond heavy lifting and ergonomics, right, as we mentioned. They are also linked to emotional and organizational factor, as Morten described earlier. But there are some strategies. There has to be proactive leadership strategies. Legal competence, ergonomic adaptations, and rest periods, and safe work routines are key strategies to reduce physical strain. Some barriers are economics limitations and the lack of ergonomic adaptation of the workplace are the main barriers to a good physical work environment. Many informers highlight economics limitations as a challenge. And then we can also see in other public studies that this is common in the public sector. What is it?
Yeah. Key findings also from the psychosocial work environment. The legal competence, as we mentioned, legal competence helps leaders handle personnel matters more fairly. They are more reasonable and they are fairly, but uncertainty about regulation still create a certain amount of stress. And we can imagine that when you have some routines you know you should follow, but you don't know them, and communicate this in a reliable way to the staff will still be demanded. So therefore, legal competence is so important. Documentation, clear documentation and communication strengthen trust in the leadership and reduce uncertainty among employees. And the next is psychological safety. Psychological safety is crucial for well-being and productivity and involves leadership that listens to, supports, and involves employees. Participation, leaders who promote participation and inclusion and work environment challenge better in line with research emphasizing the balance between the physical work environment and pedagogical quality.
So, key findings of leadership. There has to be a balanced leadership. Good leadership requires balance between legal requirement, administration, and relationship building. This involves both transformational leadership and transactional leadership. These are two main areas in leadership. Transformational leadership promotes a common culture, while transactional leadership ensures structures. Distributed leadership can increase efficiency and employee participation, thereby strengthening the work environment. But there are also some legal uncertainty. Legal uncertainty, personnel matters, and organizational challenges contribute to stress among leaders, as Morten had mentioned about the emotional stress. Employees have a duty to ensure a good working environment through systematic HSE work. So to sum up, Morten.
Yes, a summary, brief summary would be that leadership challenges are legal uncertainty, personal matters, and organizational challenges that create stress among leaders. Employers must ensure a good working environment through systematic HIE work in accordance with the Working Environment Act. And the next is psychological safety. Psychological safety is supported by clear structures, legal competence, and collegial support to reduce stress. And the Working Environment Act requires a workplace without discrimination and bullying, making conflict management important.
And the two last ones.
Yeah. The next is leadership balance. The study examines how preschool manages legal competence affects work environment. And that is what we have tried to tell you. Effective leadership balance, legal requirements, administration, and relationship building. And a good work environment. A good work environment requires physical, psychological, and organizational measures. Legal insight combined with leadership competence strengthens the work environment through culture building and inclusive leadership. It's really not enough to know only the legal forms, but you also have to have the leadership as a craft. That I think is the all it works. Thank you so much.
Thank you.